the devs are listening to us. They are trying to fix the game as much as possible, and the notes that they're giving us show this. Now, I do have to say, not everything they're doing has been such a good result, but they have been trying their best. Like, I know that people are still having issues staying in games and not getting kicked out, and so that still needs to be worked on, but things are going really well so far, and like otherwise, right? And this is something that is really, really good, so I'm going to talk about it. So the first thing they're doing is they're changing the way the rank system works, which is amazing. 10 out of 10. Before, people were getting like 2 losses because they DC'd in one, and then they whatever happened in another one, and then they were being placed in like bronze, and it was just silly, and the system was stupid, right? Placement systems are dumb unless they're based off of like a matchmaking system internally. They're just stupid, and they shouldn't be in the game, and it just doesn't, like 5 games can't show how good somebody is. That doesn't work like that. So basically what's happening now is everyone's starting at 3,500 rating, and then they're doing a little bit of a weird reset here at the end of the season, which isn't that important for us right now, but they're going to be resetting. Silver players and below are all keeping their rating, and gold players will be set to gold 4, and all platinum players will be set to platinum 4, which is platinum players and above, which I have some concerns about because that is going to make ranked a little bit messed up for like 2 weeks after every season. So rolling out like 1.5 months of like good ranked usually, even like with half a week, like a week at the end of it being super scuffed. So they probably need to not do this, but some people like full resets. But the thing that they're just resetting it to 3,500, everyone starts the same. And the fact that they are not making it so people who are above 3,500 lose that rating is all good. Like if you're below 3,500, you're getting bumped up right away. If you're above that, you're getting to keep your rating. So nobody's going to complain, to be honest. So this is something I really like the most. They are increasing the amount of rating change per match. It was 20 before, now it's 35. So now we're looking at about 88 games to go from 3,500, 88 wins to go from 3,500 to the absolute max rating, which is not that bad, to be completely honest. In Overwatch, to go from 2,500 to 4,000 to get from, gold flat to, or I guess it's platinum flat to Grandmaster is about 60 games. To go from where you start in gold, high gold, it's about 80 games or so. So it's about standardized. It's pretty good. There's not much to complain about in that. I might like it a little bit higher, like 40 or 50, but 35 is good. I'm not going to complain too much about that one. They also do this sort of thing. Since we are increasing the rate of change, we will also adjust how the scoring changes when 2 teams of vastly different overall ratings play each other. That's really good. That should that should help counter some really grouped high elo players just being able to farm for free sort of thing. And so hopefully that'll stop like stacking in the high ranks being like the absolute perma meta. Not really sure about that. I'm not going to like say that the problem's solved because we don't know, but hopefully, right? So this is the maintenance for today. That's what's happening. Here they're talking about stats basically on like what people play against each other. Because I know people have been complaining about it. Now they can throw all these numbers at us, which do seem to show that it's not that big of a deal for like 99% of people, with numbers like 16 members of all solo queuers will usually 99% of the time play against another team of all solo queuers. And there being a 0.33 chance that opponents were a team of 2-1-1-1-1 or 4-1-1-1. Meaning there's like such a low chance that they're playing against a group of 6. Granted, that doesn't show all the numbers, right? Like here we have, let's see, like you doing a 2-1-1-1 still has not as good, or if you're like a group of 3, whatever. Like the numbers are kind of complicated. It's not that important to go through them. Basically, it's just showing that the chances of you actually playing against a group of 6, if you're not in a group of 6, if you're soloing or doing, is not very high. And that's true if you're not playing at the top of the ladder. But we're going to get onto that in a second. This is something that I kind of thought was interesting, right? If you were queuing as a party of 6, because basically what it's saying is like, for all the other ratings, playing against a group of 6 isn't that big of a deal, but playing as a group of 6 is still super powerful and super meta, because while you're playing as a group of 6, you play against 71.5% another group of 6, 5 or 17% 5 and 1, and then 6.2% 4 and 2. But that essentially means, because if we're saying like 5 and 1 is roughly equal to 6, because more or less is, right? Kind of. This is like an iffy match. This is easily winnable, and all the other ones are easily winnable. That means you're having about 20% of your games or so that are just like free wins, basically. because let's just say like half the time the other person who's on their team will be an absolute brain dead individual, and so you'll lose this one, or you lose like, or you like free win for half of them kind of thing. And that means we're at 80% free wins. That means the rest, or the 80% are actually competitive. That means 20% of your games are free wins, which, you know, for you playing in low elos, middle elos and stuff like that, it's not a big deal because you aren't playing into stacks like ever, and they can do whatever they want. They can climb whatever, right? The goal is to let people play with friends. But at the very top of the ladder, you can't get past these people because these people are relatively high skill also. And so they will just out game you by using their brain, or by using their coordination and their communication, rather than just being better players than you as individuals. And since there was like a lot fewer people at the higher ranks, you're going to have a disproportionately higher amount of people stacking because they know they kind of need to, and you're going to have these stacks, like these numbers being way more disproportionate. In the network test, it was brutal. 6 stacks were just absolutely like the hard meta. You couldn't do anything about it. And they were definitely playing into a lot of groups that weren't 6 stacks. And while it may seem like, oh, only 20% of the game are free wins, if you're winning half of your games versus a group of 6 and maintaining your elo, you're getting just a free 20% buff, you know, from these free wins. So you're looking at something like winning 60% and losing 40%, which is absolutely like huge for growth. Like that's just like a free, like if you win 60% of your games and lose 40% of your games at any rating, you climb a bunch, you know. And just to get that for free by stacking at any elo or high elo is broken. But like I said, it's not really a problem until you actually get into the top elos where you can't do anything about it, and then the top ladder board will always be stackers. So they need to limit it. They need to limit being in a group of like over 3 above. Like as soon as you get master, you shouldn't be able to get into a group more than 3 or something like that. So moving on from that, the real solution to this, because they said they were going to keep monitoring it, right? But the real solution to this is just show people, is like I said, first limit stacking past masters. You don't need to be grouping in a group at that point. You can go do scrims if you want to play with a group of 6. But for the average player, the solution is literally just to show the number of people they're grouped with. Like just literally show it. Just have it show up by their name. There already is a setting to show like little green bar underneath your name when you group with somebody. Just show it for everyone. Show the enemy team so that people don't feel like they're playing against groups just because they happen to be coordinated. So for rewards, they're doing some new things. They're giving a title item that shows you played during season 1, and they're also giving you something that shows the rating you reached. If you get above gold, you get something based on the final rank that you get. So that's kind of cool. It kind of lets you showcase what you've done, whatever. It's not something I really care about too much, but I know a lot of people do like it, so that's cool that they added it. They are doing something that's really, really cool here too. The people were having issues because they were more than 3,000 in difference of rating, and they weren't able to play casual games together, which is silly. There's no reason to have that be a thing. And so fortunately with this, they've made it so they're just completely getting rid of it. They said they kind of want to put it into the game, so you know, and like they should put it in for like rating, for like ranked and stuff like that. But for like your casual play, it absolutely should not be in. There's no reason to stop people from playing together in casual stuff. And here they're saying that they apologize, and that instead of you leaving this faulty system, they decided to replace it. So that's really, really good. The fact that they can recognize that it wasn't a good system and just fix it. It's really good to have devs who aren't completely stuck up and are willing to accept that they did something bad and fix it. And I think we should all appreciate them for that. Now, I'm not saying we need to go like completely ignore any problems, because there are other problems to deal with, and there definitely are. But we should be happy that they're doing this much, at least, and doing it pretty quickly. If you're looking for some more Gundam Evolution videos, then make sure to check out my mobile suit guides. I made one for all original to 14 mobile suits, and I did a Should You Main guide series also, covering the same mobile suits and talking about whether you should actually main them in Gundam Evolution or not.